Blessings, my friends, blessings. Thank you for joining me. I'm speaking today about the Parashas. In truth, how do we live a righteous life? How do we live a life that's filled with purpose, the feeling of purpose, and the feeling of joy? Again and again this question for me, and I think for all people, comes up. How do we live a life that is worth living? A lot of it depends really, in the deepest kind of a way, on our practice in a broad sense, and specifically, according to this Parashas, Tazria, how we speak, what we say, and how we listen, how we are hearing each other. We affect each other in the deepest kind of a way by what we say. You know, I can be walking along the street, a person can shout out at me or at my small children, something very unpleasant, and it makes our whole day unpleasant. Or a person can say to you something nice, and it makes you feel good for the whole rest of the day. A word has the ability to kill or to give life to a person. And Tazria, much of it is about that quality. The ability of a word to affect us on the inside, and what affects us on the inside affects us on the outside too, meaning that what is in our heart, sometimes we wear it on our skin. So it deals with the metaphor of tzara, of what we sometimes translate as leprosy, but it's really only to say that what we are feeling on the inside comes out and affects everything around us, like a stone in a pond, in a pool. It goes forever. So Tazria is really concerning itself with how do we live a life of righteousness, of joy, of purpose. And one of the ways in which we do that is that we really seek to enfold ourselves around the concept of how are we speaking and how are we hearing what others are saying to us. Meaning, do we, if we're listening to in a discussion or argument with someone, are we listening to them only in order to understand what they're saying so we can rebut them? Or are we trying to hear what is the inside, the etzem, of what they're saying, so that we can understand it and come to a kesher, come to a connection with that person and with what they're saying. In Tazria, how these conditions erupt on a person, how they are affecting a person, is monitored by the priests within the Parsha. And our Torah says, who are the priests today? We are a nation of priests. So what that means is that we are asked really to monitor each other, not in a cop kind of a fashion, but as loving friends, to monitor, am I being our best self? Are we hearing the angels of our better nature when we're speaking about someone else? Or, in the same vein, when we're hearing stories about someone else, and maybe the stories are becoming, that person is not so yada yada yada. Are we really going with that place of gossip, or do we pull back and say, so a blessing, that's enough? My teacher of blessed memory used to say there's two types of gossip. There's a gossip that is not so geschmacht, not so tasty. But then there's holy gossip. And holy gossip is when, have you heard about my friend, Ozzy? Gewalt, she has so much talent, she has so much ability, you should see this new piece of art she made. That's holy gossip. There's a classic story that it's said to be a Cherokee story, that an old man, grandfather, was talking to his grandson, and he said, son, I have two wolves inside me, battling. And the grandson said, really? He said, yes. One is the wolf of good, and one is the wolf of not so good. And they battle back and forth. And even more, my son, everybody has these wolves inside them. Even me, said the little boy. Yes, even you. Who will win? Said the little boy. The good wolf or the bad wolf? The old man said, depends which one you feed. So I wish everyone a great blessing, and we should feed the good wolf with each other. We should hear the sweetness that each of us is trying to say, because at the end of things, we are all humans. are trying to go to the same place, which is a place of peace, joy, and purpose.